Agent YQ48FYL.
Recently, I participated in a game jam, where the objective was to create a game with blind players in mind. I would like to share with you some of the practices and ideas that I developed while making this 3D game. First, I'm going to share my approach when dealing with the speech accessibility. Second, I will share a bit on the collision system that I implemented. I will then share a feature that I developed where players can use the mouse to scan collectible objects, as well as scan for enemies in the area. Not being in a studio with actors at my disposal, I decided to use vocal assets from Soundly. Soundly has a really nice feature that allows you to write texts and then generate speech from a customizable list. You can choose what kind of voice you want, including tone and feel. Even though the voices still sound unnatural, there is a lot you can do by playing with speech and speed. I use Soundly for both prompt and speech, as well as dialogue. Doing some research, I found that prompt speed speech controls are very important. These allow blind players to process information faster. Luckily, having Wwise made it really easy. All I had to do was create a prompt speed RTPC to drive a time stretch effect. The RTPC is then set by the player via input. In this case, they are using left and right arrow, and all is done in Unreal.
Hold down the W key and press the spacebar to climb the platform. Hold down the W key and press the spacebar to climb the platform.
Most of the NPC dialogue is triggered when the player is spotted or when the player is within a specified distance from the NPC. There is one way that the dialogue NPC gets triggered. I'll talk more about it when I explain the scanning function. But basically, when the player scans the area and is facing an NPC, then the dialogue of that NPC gets triggered. For the collision system, audio events get triggered whenever the player overlaps with an object or with the NPC.
Press E to take down enemy. Collision with crate.
Sometimes there were conflicts between dialogue and speech. It was really easy to fix this via Wwise by setting the voice count to a minimum and also setting a priority for the voices. The last feature I want to share with you is the scan function. With this function, players are able to scan their surroundings for collectibles and for NPCs. To scan, our main character, Blueprint, has a function that uses line tracing. Since line tracing can be expensive for the game's memory, the scanning function only remains activated while the player holds the mouse right button down. Once the player releases the right button, the scanning function stops.
Scanning for targets.
Boss, I don't see anything. It's kind of dark.
For collectibles, I use a meta sound source to produce a simple sine wave that beeps at a variable rate. When the scanning function gets activated, it calculates the distance from the player to the collectible object. That distance is then used as a variable to modulate the rate of the beep in the meta sound source. As a result, as the player gets closer to the collectible, the meta sound source will beep faster.
Power engine. Collision with barrel.
Wait, what's that? No! Wait, nothing! What's that?
Collision with
I think
wall.
my mind is playing tricks on me.
Nothing.
It seemed to me that in order for the scanning function to work well, it is better to restrict pitch movement to a minimum, or to nothing. I tried scanning for objects without any visuals, and it was really hard to know if my character was looking up or down. So I had to restrict the movement. It was really easy to do, and it can easily be implemented as an accessibility feature with a simple boolean on Blueprints. My hope is to continue developing the scan method so that it can be implemented as a modular add-on to any game in Unreal. And that's all. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Get the bloody job done and we will forever thank you.